Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at Versus Games in Oviedo, Florida. We have gone through 6 rounds of Swiss, our top cut, and now, Brendan, we are in the finals.
I am so excited for the finals right now. We got 2 amazing players here today. You've been seeing them on stream so far. We got Alex Ortega and we got Brady Smith. We got an amazing bracket here today. Both of them went 2-0 in their top 4 right now. Very impressive work right there.
And also, every matchup except for our matchup between Riley Factura and Chris Dawson was a 2-0 in top cut. That is actually really impressive and shows how good our trainers have been in this tournament.
Especially, yeah, both Alex and Brady were like that, just 2-0. That's been some very good, some very aggressive gameplay right there. I am so excited for this finals right here and right now.
And honestly, after what happened today over the weekend in Monterey and in Frankfurt, I mean, we have regionals back, and we got Pittsburgh coming up next weekend.
I'm so excited for Pittsburgh. I'm going to Pittsburgh next week. I'm going to see how well I can do. But
I am not going to Pittsburgh next weekend. I have work because I have a day job.
See, that's the thing. I went to school this past spring. That's why I wasn't playing as much. I got a night job. And it's like I can go to leave. It's only Monday through Thursday, right? So I can leave on Friday morning, go play Pokemon, and then I can come back Monday morning, and I still make it to work. Nothing lost.
No, nothing lost at all. And again, like when we were just talking about with the regionals that happened, we do want to send a shout out and a congratulations to Stefan Mott. He won the Monterey Regional Championships.
You were telling me about that. He brought a Garganacl?
He brought a Garganacl, he brought a Sylveon, and he brought a Scyther.
I really want to see that team right there.
Somebody tell me the last time Scyther won anything.
I can't ever recall seeing Scyther get a trophy. I mean, I've seen it on stream a couple of times, and it does do good work. I mean, it's got the Technician boosted dual wing beat, and that's really something a lot of players don't expect. It goes through sashes. It can just knock out any Sneasler really quick like that.
But there's just one small problem about dual wing beat. It's got the scale shot treatment. 90% accurate.
It can still miss, and it's like, oh, that 10% you miss is just so frustrating.
But when we look at our teams for the finals here, we do have Alex Ortega. Once again, he is rocking that Terrifier, the Electabuzz, the Primarina. We got a Talonflame sighting, Rillaboom, and Sneasler.
It's a really strong core right there. You got their main offense with the Como-O with the Klinger Scales and Klinger Soul. Funny, I see in the background we got Raymond. He's actually his team building partner. They've been working on his team together for the past few weeks right now.
That's actually very interesting that he is back there. But at the same time, it just showcases how good Alex is at team building alongside some of his friends in the local scene, and showcases why Florida has the best competitors.
Absolutely. Florida is just so creative. We got so many amazing players. I love seeing all of our Florida players. They go out to regionals, and they just do so well every single time, I tell you.
Except for me. I'm still looking for that day 2.
Now, you know what? It's okay. So am I. I've been pretty close a couple of times, but you know what? I'm just not there yet. But you know what? With the rest of Florida backing us up, I think that's a strong possibility.
It definitely is. And when we look at Brady's team, we just saw how he played against Matthew Laughlin, utilizing the Blood Moon Ursaluna with the Mousehold, and then having Annihilate in game 2 just go to town on Matthew's team. And also, I mean, that was partially because of a Defiant boost.
Yeah, you know, I tell you, with the Ursaluna Blood Moon, it hasn't been until this second era of the Regulation H that I've been seeing a lot of Assault-vested Ursaluna lately. It's like no one's using Life Orb anymore.
Nobody really is. I've been seeing Assault Vest a lot. I honestly did see one Silk Scarf in the Global Challenge where I knocked it off. It was a Silk Scarf Blood Moon Ursaluna.
Huh. Get a little extra damage on your Hyper Voices and your Blood Moon attacks right there. I mean, that is viable, but yeah, it's just been very interesting seeing how different this Regulation H has been so far compared to last year's.
It definitely has been a lot different from this regulation to last regulation, and we're going to find out who's going to be the first Cup champion in Florida, Brendan. Is it going to be Alex Ortega or is it going to be Brady Smith?
It's all up in the air. I tell you, these 2 players, they are just amazing right now. I can tell, you just look at Brady, look at him right there. He is just brainstorming. He is really strategizing what he wants to do for this final game right now.
We're going to get into it. Game number 1, Alex Ortega, Brady Smith. Who is going to be our Video Game Cup champion? Let's get into game number 1. It is Mousehold and Blood Moon Ursaluna versus the Como-O and Electabuzz.
You know, I really like this lead from Alex's side. You know, it might be a little tricky with Blood Moon on the other side, he might be susceptible to any potential Earth powers. But even then, gotta consider at the same time, this is still just regular Ursaluna with no life orb or anything. So we're going to have to see how much damage a Earth Power can actually do into this Electabuzz right now. Going for the Follow Me, Super Fang misses.
Oh no, the Super Fang misses as the Clangerous Soul comes out, allowing Alex's Kamo to get that Omni Boost with the +1 through the Throat Spray, and it's only costing 33% of its health.
It seemed pretty free for Alex right there, just being able to get off that Clangerous Soul right there. And his Throat Spray boost, we're going to see how much that Earth Power is going to do into the Electabuzz. It does almost enough to knock it out in one hit, but it's still around for one more turn, which is going to make it really tricky for Brady, because now he's got to really adapt to this Komo that's got all of its boosts up right now.
Exactly, because the Kamo does have that +2, so it will be doing good damage into the Blood Moon Ursaluna here, even though it has that Assault Vest and the Friend Guard to really help out with its defenses.
It's got all these boosts up. It's going to probably stick around for a little bit. I can't imagine one Klinger Scale is going to knock it out, but it will do a lot of damage. And Alex is just going to go for another Follow Me. He just does not want any direct damage on his Komo at all.
We're going to see the Clanging Scales come out here. How much will this do to the Assault Vest? And it just bounces off of this Blood Moon Ursaluna with that Friend Guard.
It only does about like 35% damage to it. It's going to be very tricky to be able to break this Ursaluna down. But Electabuzz is out now. We're going to take a peek at Alex's Pokemon in his party. He's got the Primarina and he's got his Sneasler out. So it's got a few options right there to really break that Ursaluna.
But what's important to note here, Brennan, is that with that Primarina, it has access to Life Orb Hyper Voice, and it's spread damage to the Mousehold and to the Blood Moon Ursaluna. I'm pretty sure Blood Moon Ursaluna does not want to take double spread move here, even with the Assault Vest and the Friend Guard.
Exactly. You know, you got both two spread moves right there that can easily knock out this Mousehold, especially with the Komo with those two special attack boosts right there.
You are absolutely right, because the Primarina has access to that Liquid Voice to turn Hyper Voice into a Water-type move, making it super effective into the Blood Moon Ursaluna if it does not Terrastalize, which Brady has identified here, as he's going to Terrastalize his Blood Moon Ursaluna out of its weakness and make it a pure Normal type.
Pure Normal type is going to be able to get some extra damage with its Hyper Voices or its Blood Moon attacks. We're going to see what it targets into. Follow Me. I don't know if that really matters right now when you got both Primarina and Komo just doing big damage spreading between both targets right there.
We see the Clanging Scales do big damage into the Mousehold and the Ursaluna. Here's the Life Orb Hyper Voice. Ursaluna survives, and that was a critical hit too!
It just barely survived with just a fragment of its HP left.
That just showcases how powerful the Assault Vest was there. But in comes the Terra Normal Blood Moon into the Komo. And Komo survives!
At 8 HP, this Blood Moon, or this Komo is sticking around for just a little bit longer. At the same time, though, Alex is going to be really careful, because I know that Ursaluna does have the Vacuum Wave in the back, so it can go for any quick knockouts just like that.
It definitely can go for any knockouts here, but also we have to keep in mind that there are two Protects on the side of Alex's Pokemon here. He could go for the Protector and try to stall out a Fake Out here, but that Ursaluna still has access to Earth Power.
Exactly, so he's going to be very careful with what he wants to do. Alex is going to go for a Terrastalization into his Primarina. I believe he's going to turn it into a Poison type right now.
It is very poisonous right now, that Primarina. Instead of being Water and Fairy, it is now pure Poison, which turns it actually weak to the Ursaluna with its Earth powers here. We do see the Vacuum Wave come out from Brady into the Komo and knocks it out, but in comes the Wood Hammer into this resisted Primarina, and it does big damage.
That is so much damage right there. It helped it a lot be able to survive this one turn, but it's going to be very tricky for Alex to pick it up in this last game. Now he's lost two of his Pokemon. He's only got one left in the back. It is that Sneasler, so it's not like he's out of the count right now. Sneasler is very strong into that Ursaluna. He still has a few more other Pokemon, I believe so.
He definitely has the one Pokemon left for Brady on his side of the field, which we haven't seen yet. It's going to be Sneasler as the fourth and final Pokemon for Alex in this game number 1. And the fourth Pokemon for Brady is that Dragonite.
Dragonite is here. That Dragonite is pretty scary. It's going to be unfortunate right now because in a good scenario right now, Alex was really pinned because he did go for the Wood Hammer or the Terra Poison into his Primarina.
And we see Grassy Glide. It will do enough to knock out the Primarina through this resist.
That's very impressive. Even out of resist, it's still just enough damage to knock it out. Right
and
there.
that showcases the power of the Miracle Seed with the grassy terrain as the Dire Claw comes out and knocks out this Rillaboom. So now it is just a Sneasler versus a Dragonite, but this Dragonite has Scale Shot. It hits 1, 2, 3. Will it be 4?
4, and it knocks it out.
And Sneasler is down. Brady Smith takes game 1 with the Scale Shot Dragonite.
No, I tell you, that was a really good game right there. They were neck and neck, constantly trading Pokemon back and forth like that. Very good work between both of them.
It was an incredible game 1 from both our trainers here. But how about that Blood Moon Ursaluna? And I didn't even think about this at first because the Maushold was still on the field. I think if Maushold was down before Primarina got that Hyper Voice off, that allowed the Assault Vest and the Friend Guard to really help out even with that critical hit. If the Maushold wasn't there, I think that critical hit would have knocked out Ursaluna.
Honestly, you're absolutely right. All of those defense stacks right there just keep Ursaluna around just a little bit longer to take any hits from that Primarina. We're going to have to see if Alex can make any good adjustments right there because I can't imagine he'd be able to get that same critical hit twice.
I definitely don't think he can make that same mistake twice here because Alex is in a very interesting position. He has the tools and the resources to handle Brady's team. He just has to figure out the proper way to set up the board and make it into his advantage.
I think you're right, because one of the things I noticed is that he had his Primarina. It could have been really useful in that endgame scenario if it hadn't Terra Poison, but he had to do it with Rillaboom in front of it at the time.
And we're going to get into game number 2 here. We have a little bit of a switch up here on Brady's side. He is leading with a Dragonite and Rillaboom here. Meanwhile, on the side of Alex Ortega, he is leading Primarina and Electabuzz.
Primarina and Electabuzz, it's going to be a very interesting change-up right there. Grassy Surge is setting up, everyone's going to get their HP back at the end of the turns. And we're going to see, we are just going straight into a big switch right there from Alex right there. He knows exactly that he just cannot survive in this scenario right here there.
He definitely cannot survive with the Primarina here as he's going to switch out Primarina and he's going to switch in his Talonflame. Talonflame making an appearance in this battle.
Talonflame, the Rise of the Bird, is here right now. We're going to get a safe protect from the Electabuzz just to make sure that just in case anything happens, especially with that Dragonite right there, it's got its only attack move being Scale Shot. It's a good idea that, he was protecting it right there just to make sure that he didn't get, especially any defense drops or speed boosts on that Dragonite right there.
And it's important to note here that the Rillaboom went Fake Out into the Primarina slot here, and the Dragonite went Scale Shot into Electabuzz. Scale Shot going into the Talonflame right now probably would knock it out here.
Absolutely. At that range, Talonflame just does not have a lot of defenses, so you got to be really careful about that. But we're going to see going to switch it up, bring in his Goldango.
Ooh, a little bit of a switch up here as Talonflame going for the Will-O-Wisp, and it hits the Dragonite. That is big for Alex here by getting the burn on this Dragonite. Dragonite's attack power has just been halved.
Dragonite's attack power, with its only attacking move being Scale Shot, it is very hard to see for it to recover in any scenarios. It's just going to go for Scale Shot into Electabuzz. It just does barely a lot of damage.
I mean, look at how minuscule that damage output is right there, Brendan.
Burning the Dragonite, every time I've had my own Dragonite or just seen one get burned, it's always just really difficult for Dragonite to be able to do anything at that point in the game because, yeah, your Scale Shots just barely do anything. The most you can do at that point is just play support. Maybe set up a Tailwind, or maybe if you need something like the Haze for different scenarios. But yeah, when your Dragonite is burned, it's just not going to be able to do hardly any damage for the rest of the battle.
It definitely won't be doing anything for the remainder of this battle here as long as it just has the Scale Shot. But we're going to see Talonflame switch out and Primarina returning onto the field. A very interesting situation here because Goldengo still has a favorable matchup here by virtue of the fairy type with the steel type Make It Rain.
Absolutely. He was able to stop that one tailwind coming from the Dragonite. The Make It Rain only does just about half to the Primarina right there, so maybe Alex was really onto something right there, just identifying the situation, saying, you know what, he actually might be able to pull it off, especially with the grassy terrain still up. It's just that chip held back will let Primarina stick around possibly for one more turn.
And what's also important to note here is that the Dragonite was taunted. It can only go for that Scale Shot here. And Scale Shot, as we saw, it did little damage to that Electabuzz, but it won't do anything to Primarina.
Not anything to Primarina. That poor Dragonite just is up against the wall. He's probably going to be forced to switch out at this point because he just can't do anything. He can maybe, if he really wants to keep trying to poke at that Electabuzz at this point in the game, but it's just going to be very difficult. But he's just going to switch out his Goldango instead, go back into Rillaboom right now.
I'm bringing out the Rillaboom once again here. Here comes the Electro Web, lowers the speed of this Dragonite, but also lowers the speed of Rillaboom outside of the priority Grassy Glide here. And the Primarina goes for Life Orb Hyper Voice. It's not very effective on either target.
It's going to be very tricky right there because now Brady is in a good position, and he just misses the Scale Shot anyways.
And Scale Shot misses that 90% accuracy.
They tell you it's 90%. I don't think that's 90% sometimes, It just misses, and then it's just so darning that you just can't land your moves, and it's like, oh, come on.
I definitely don't think it is 90%. It's probably like 60%.
I take 60% of that any day, It's so inconsistent, but you know what? At this rate, I'm not sure how much of a difference it really makes when your Dragonite is burned.
Definitely makes a little difference here because of that. I don't know why that...
But we gotta switch out from the Electabuzz into the Talonflame right now. We're gonna see and we got a Protect from the Primarina, Just play it safe, He's probably risking it with the Scale. Oh, the Scale Shot going straight into the Talonflame. Even despite being burned, it is still doing some damage to that Talonflame right there. That's like I was saying before, Talonflame just does not have the greatest defenses, so even Talonflame is at the risk of being knocked out from another Scale Shot if it hits 5 times.
And there's the Wood Hammer, and it will go into the Primarina here, who takes no damage here due to it protecting itself.
I think I see what Alex is trying to do. I think he identifies the situation, That Rillaboom is really a thorn in Alex's side right now because he can't just keep going for moves. But we do have the Dragonite finally shook off its taunt, so it might just go for the Tailwind. Absolutely, Tailwind. And then you're going to have a really scary Rillaboom that can just go and attack into any of Alex's Pokemon right there.
It definitely could go into any of Alex's Pokemon here because that Protect is a possibility on Brady's side now with the Dragonite because the taunt is gone. And even you could switch in the Golden Go here, potentially calling a Will-O-Wisp into that Rillaboom slot.
That's the thing. Like, that between the switching out, you can keep going between the Rillaboom or the Goldango, and that Talonflame is just going to have a really hard time nailing in any strong damage. But
and that's actually Mousehold is the 4th Pokemon for Brady.
He's going to change it up, and Alex is going to terrestrialize one of his Pokemon right now. It's probably just, it's the Primarina again. I think he sees it that the Dragonite is probably, just good enough HP that he can maybe knock it out with his own. Oh, he's just going to go for a Tailwind right now. We're going to see how much damage this Primarina can do.
And it's going to be the Moonblast into the Dragonite slot, and even with the Friend Guard, it goes down.
Dragonite is down. That is one less Pokemon for Alex to ever have to worry about. I think at this rate with the Primarina's health, it might be very risky, dicey, especially with the Rillaboom still in the back. We saw how much damage it was able to do even with the Wood Hammer and the Grassy Glide. So we're going to see what happens. But even then, Alex is just going to bring Brady's just going to bring back in his Goldango, which is going to make it a lot harder for the Talonflame to be able to knock in any solid damage against that Goldango, potentially knock it out. So we're just going to see how he can adapt to that situation.
We're going to see a Brave Bird here to break the Focus Sash on the Mousehold here. That is a smart play on Brady's side. Super Fang coming out and doing just a little bit of damage to the Talonflame, but In comes that Make It Rain. It's Life Orb boosted, and Talonflame, unfortunately, will be going down.
Talonflame does go down, but at this range for the Mousehold, it already lost over half of its HP. I'm willing to bet that, that Primarina still has a lot of strong moves in the back. And even then, Alex still has his Sneasler with the Throat Chop, so that can still do major damage into that Goldango right there.
But what's also important to note here, though, is that the Sneasler can be redirected by the Follow Me on this Mousehold here.
That's exactly right. You can't just go for Throat Chops free willy-nilly right there. You got to play it safe. You got to get rid of that Mousehold first before you can really do any big damage into that Goldango.
You definitely can, and it's going to remain to be seen what this Goldango goes for here. It could go for like a nasty plot here, just try to set up, but also with the threat of that Hyper Voice, it will do damage by virtue of it being a water type move now and not a normal type.
Exactly, and with Alex, he still, I believe, has some Tailwind on his side of the field, so he can just go for Hyper Voices. He can try to do as much damage as he can as he's still outspeeding the rest of Brady's Pokemon right now.
We're going to see a Terrestrialization actually come out on the side of Goldango here, and it's going to Terrestrialize into a normal type, not normal type, a water type, sorry, but Mousehold going for a Protect here instead.
That's very impressive work right there. Alex is unable to get the Dire Claw off into the Mousehold right there. We're just going to see how much damage can this Primarina do into Brady's single Goldango at this point.
And we're going to see it does a decent amount of damage. You're bringing it under 50% with a critical hit.
All right, I stand corrected. He was able to get another critical hit in this final game.
And there's the Make It Rain, and it will knock out the Primarina. A critical hit, too.
I'm not sure how much that critical hit mattered, but at the same time, Brady's got to be very careful right now because he just lost. He's at -1 on his special attack from the Goldango. He can't be all go clicking Make It Rain left and right, but he still has his Electabuzz in the back, so he might actually be able to do some solid damage to the rest of Brady's Pokemon from this endgame scenario. Especially, he did Terrestrialize into that water type. Maybe the Electro Web can knock it out from this range.
I'm actually curious if it can because the Mousehold is still on the field, so Friend Guard is active. I would think the smart play here, you would have to get rid of the Mousehold here. However, the Goldango with that Water Terror and the Friend Guard here.
He's just going to switch it out. You know what? Play it safe. That's a good idea right there. Bring back in the Rillaboom. It's going to be tricky, especially, I'm seeing Brady, he still has his Rillaboom, and it's going to be able... It still had a lot of HP, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, we're going to see what Brady can do. But the scary thing is that Brady's Rillaboom has the high horsepower, so it can still hit major damage into either of Alex's remaining Pokemon from this state of the game.
And we're going to see the Electro Word come out. It will miss the Mousehold, though. That is big.
That is very tough right there, but you know what? I think it's going to be okay for a little bit. The main thing that you really want is that you want to get rid of that Rillaboom, but it's going to be a lot harder, especially since Alex already just gave it up a Protect, so it'd be very risky if he were to do it again. So we're going to see what Alex has up his sleeve to really pick it up for this endgame state.
He definitely will. There's the Follow Me from the Mousehold, trying to get the center of attention. A Follow Me comes out from the Electabuzz, so 2 Follow Me's. What did this Rillaboom end up going for? It's just going to be a Dire Claw into the Mousehold here, knocks it out.
The Mousehold is finally out of game. No more Friend Boost. So we're going to see... He's just going to go for the Wood Hammer into the Electabuzz, and it
will
knocks
knock
it out.
out the Electabuzz, and it is now the Goldango and Rillaboom versus the Sneasler.
That poor Sneasler, it's going to have to do a lot of work to be able to make it. There is the one chance. I believe it right now. Because I believe high horsepower has a small chance to miss. If Alex is able to get lucky right there with a potential miss from the Rillaboom, he might be able to close out this game.
He very well could. It all comes down to if that high horsepower misses. Here's the Dire Claw into the Goldango. It will knock out the Goldango. And will it get the high horsepower miss here, or will Brady Smith just go for that Wood Hammer and knock it out?
Wood Hammer is still very safe. Does a lot of damage. Grassy Terrain boosted. It just knocks it out.
It knocks it out. And with that, Brady Smith is your Versus Games Oveido Cup champion for September.
Our first Oveido Cup champion for this season. Both players played it very well today. I'm very proud of both of them. That was very good matches right there.
That was an incredible set by Brady and Alex there. Alex barely came close to forcing a game 3.
You know, there was just that 1 inch. If he had just maybe had one more turn, you know, I believe Alex might have been able to pull it off, but you know what? He still did very well today.
He definitely had an opportunity there, but at the end of the day, it just came down to what the final Pokemon was going to be. And how about that Rillaboom? Grassy terrain, Miracle Seed, Woodhammer. Through the resist, it did enough to knock out the Sneasler. And Brady also identified not to go for the high horsepower and risk that 5% miss like you were identifying, Brendan.
Exactly. You know what? You got to play it safe. I think between Grassy Terrain, Miracle Seed, you know, and even then, you know, Sneasler does not have the greatest defense. Maybe get a Grassy Seed, but yeah, it's just not going to be able to take a lot of hits.
No, it definitely would not take a lot of hits. It could have taken maybe 1 with the resist, but that just showcases how good Miracle Seed is.
Yeah, you know what? It's very uncommon to even see Miracle Seed on a Rillaboom because most of them, you know, they just have their Assault Vest, but you know what? He already gave that to his Blood Moon Ursaluna right there.
And what's also impressive is that we saw the Assault Vest Rillaboom, we saw the Miracle Seed Rillaboom, we also saw the Meadow Plate. I believe there was a Meadow Plate Rillaboom today.
Really? I have to find out who was using that. That sounds very interesting to me. They got like the Iron Head or something?
I'm not 100% sure.
I have to find out for myself later on that day. See who was bringing Metal Coat Rillaboom. That's... wow, okay.
No, not Metal Coat. Meadow Plate, like the Arceus Plate.
Oh, but I mean, they still do the same thing, you know, boost up in steel type attacks. So it's like I really have to figure that out. I wonder what scenario. What would you need steel type moves for your Rillaboom?
Terra Blast Steel?
Yeah, you know, terrible. You know, maybe if you got like some good Tailwind boost or something like that, you go for Iron Head, get some flinches right there. You know what? I'd be liking that a little bit.
I'm not even sure that Rillaboom gets Iron Head.
Oh, man.
Now that I think about it, I don't think it does.
If it did, that'd be perfect. But you know what? That's okay. Terra Blast, Iron Head, you know what? It's all good steel damage. Maybe, you know what? They identify, you know what, I'm having a real problem with fairy types against me. Or maybe, you know what, maybe it's that darn Alolan Ninetales that keeps popping up every now and then. You just say, you know what, I'm going to turn this disadvantage, I'm going to turn it into a big advantage right now, you know? I'm going to get my Tailwind boost, I'm going to get go for Terra Blast, Steel type, and I'm just going to get rid of that Ninetales because it's just a big thorn in the side.
It makes sense. And with Pittsburgh right around the corner, we are done with our first ever Cup here for the 2026 season. Brendan, congratulations again to Brady Smith, and congratulations to all of our trainers.
All of our players did so amazing today. I'm proud to see each and every one of them battling here today. You know, it just tells you a lot. Florida has just some of the best players around.
They really do have some of the best players here, and it just showcased it. We had 34 trainers today, and out of the 34, one stands above the rest, and that is Brady Smith.
Brady Smith, you know, he is, honestly, he's just one of the Florida GOATs at this point. He's always doing so well. He's made so many amazing appearances at many of the regionals and internationals, and I know he's also done well at a few Worlds events before, too.
He has done well at a couple of Worlds, and I think he actually just came back from Anaheim recently.
Anaheim, I tell you, Anaheim, I didn't go myself. I saw the live streams. I saw the productions they were doing right there. You saw, like, the productions they were doing on the stage and everything.
That was incredible.
Like, oh my goodness, it's like a real esports arena, and it's so amazing to see all the different games that we're doing, utilizing that. Like, you would see for the VGC, they're doing, like, the different terrains or Trick Room, or if a Pokemon gets status or not. It's like, wow, I want this at every event.
And that's just a small arena that they did in Anaheim. I shudder to think what we're going to see at the Chase Center next year in San Francisco.
You know, that's right, because, you know, Anaheim, it's just a little small. I wouldn't call it small town, but you know what? Compared to San Francisco, we're going to see some really big production values over in San Francisco. I am so excited. I tell you, I'm going to doing whatever I can. I'm going to make it to San Francisco. As a competitor, as a spectator, I have to go. And
once again, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say congratulations to our top 8 players here. Brady Smith as our winner, Alex Ortega the runner-up, top 4 Riley Factura and Matthew Laughlin, and top 8 Albert Larson, Adrian Herdia, Dylan Stone, and Chris Dawson.
All these players, they did amazing today. I battled most of these players before. They're all just such talent in this Florida scene right here now.
They are definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to end it here for the Versus Games Cup in Oviedo, Florida. Thank you guys so much for joining us. For Brendan Nasir, for TJ DiGiacomo, I'm Joe Carlino. I'm signing off. Thank you guys. We will see you in Pittsburgh.
Have a good day.
I just hope, I just want